Hey everybody, Chris here, coming to show you some more yard sale and thrift store finds. I think mostly yard sale, honestly. I don't think I've been to the thrift store and gotten all that many things. I know one or two things in here might be that, but yeah, in general, it's pretty much all yard sale finds. So let's get into it. But I'm gonna start with this. I got a stack of PS2s, four of them. The guy, his girlfriend or wife said that they do house cleanouts. So she said that, I don't know, it made me assume that he would be charging a lot, but he said he wasn't sure how much he wanted. He only had one out, and I asked him if he had the power cord, and he went in, or he sent her in, and she came out with three more PS2s and some controllers and only one power cord. So this actually only came with the one power cord on. There's no AV cables. There's no power cord for the Slim, and but there's like 4 or 5 controllers. I think I'll have enough power cords, except maybe for the Slim, to complete them. So it wasn't a big deal. So I just offered him 30, and he took it no problem. I actually probably think I could have got them for less. But anyway, I have not checked inside the PS2s for the games. Those 4 cases there were empty. I'm assuming some of the games will be in there, but we'll see. And then for some reason also just Walk Hard was in one of the cases. So let's see. I already checked the PS2 Slim. There's nothing in there. So let's see. What are we going to get? Yep, there's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Much better. These are the other games that came with it too. I'll show you those in a second. So that's cool. We got that one. Let's see what we're going to get here. Ooh, nothing. Alright, that's a bummer. So one of these came with the hard drive network adapter add-on. I didn't see if it actually had the hard drive. It almost never does. People usually didn't equip theirs with a hard drive. They just used it for online. But yeah, then another one doesn't even have the back cover. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these does not work. So let's see what we got. Ooh, nothing. That's a bummer. So at least we got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas out of there, and then I might even have a disc only Guitar Hero 3. So yeah, well that was that. That's a fun little thing. All right, next we'll go to these hats, and then we'll jump over. I went to an estate sale. This was probably 3 weeks ago now. I think this is from the past 3 weeks of finding stuff. They had a lot of Disney stuff in their ad. I actually went to this like pretty late because I usually don't like to go to estate sales because people show up super early. Sometimes there's a line to get in. Sometimes you have to put your name down. I'm just like, it's a waste of time for me to like wait around and stuff. So I usually just take off to yard sales and show up to estate sales later in the day. But anyway, they had a bunch of Disney stuff in their ad. When I got there, about half of it was gone. But I looked in this bin. I guess they wanted $25 for the whole bin, but I didn't even notice that. It was in a little porch, and on the porch window was the sign about the Disney stuff. I didn't even see it. So anyway, I picked out the stuff I wanted. I picked out these 2 Donald Duck hats. This one's like an anniversary one, which is kind of cool, 94. And the other one has like a little signature on it, but it came with some of this stuff as well. So I grabbed these 3 patches because I thought they were cool. And then I grabbed this. It's a Mickey & Co. by Napier, I think. It's a little Donald Duck pin, but I also got a Donald Duck necklace by the same thing. It was Mickey & Co. That sold for $30. I think this will go for like, I already got an offer of I think like $18. And I countered it, but they didn't want to pay more than $18. But I think I could get anywhere from $18 to $25 because it still has the backing and all that. So that's pretty cool. So definitely look out for Mickey & Co. stuff if you're familiar with it. And then these pins were actually on the hat. I think there was another, but it might have sold or I might have misplaced it. I'll find it. But just some like slightly older pins. These are Olympic 1996 pins. Yeah, I think there might have been one more Donald one, but Most of their stuff was Donald stuff. And I think I might have had one other thing, but it already sold. I already kind of forgot what it was. Then we'll go to this collection of iPods. I picked this up with a few games that I'll show you in a bit. I don't remember how much I paid. I think it might have been like 15, if that. Like, might have been like 12. But I got an iPod Classic and like 3 or 4 video games. Hopefully I didn't sell them all. I'll have to look through. I think one of them was a Zelda game. I think one of them, it might still be there. There's a DS case. But yeah, then picked up these two, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm starting to forget at this point, but I don't think I paid that much. I picked up this one with 2 shuffles. Those 2 both sold, one for 45, one for like 42. And then this one will probably sell for like 35, 40. I think it's no, yeah, I don't remember the size on that. And I picked this up at a yard sale, I think like right after that for like $3 or $4. Same, it'll sell for like 30-ish. And these 3, I actually picked up these 2 with those Game Boys and the games. Or no, I only picked up, sorry, this one with the Game Boys and the games and that TI-84 right there for, I believe, after all was said and done, I think it was like $47. Alright, I ran out of storage on my phone, so I had to delete some stuff. I don't quite remember where I was, so I'll just go back to where we were. Let's see. Then I got these at another yard sale for, I think, $3. I thought they were both worth more than they are. Only like $7 to $10 each. And then I grabbed this for $1. This is a Sony GPS. I saw that it looks like it's missing like an antenna, but I still bought it anyway. It was only $1. Looks like it goes for a decent amount, but I'm not really sure it was the best buy. But I got that, and I got this 360 controller for, I think, $1 as well. Doesn't have the back. I'm not really sure what this is from. If you happen to know, please let me know. It might just be like a custom one, like it might be their own art. But if you know what this is from, please let me know, because I need to know like what to list it as. So please let me know in the comments if you have any idea, like if this is a special edition controller or what. And then we got some Polaroid cameras. I got the little, it's actually an Instax right there. I think I paid like $4 or $5 for that. I don't know if I'm just like not sure how this works, but like I can never get these. Oh, I don't have batteries in it, but like the color, like this is the second one of these I've had, and like the light won't change even though I'm like adjusting it. So I should just look up how that works. But then behind that I got a Polaroid SX70. This came in a case, I think. This was $30, I think, at a yard sale. It was across the street from another one that I might have bought like a DVD or something random from. But it was like a little neighborhood, and this was the only thing of worth, really. And then I grabbed that Spectra with, actually grabbed it with this iPod. I think I only paid like $2 for it. Next, we got Hungry Hungry Hippos. This is sealed. This is an old like 80s copy. They had it for 10, and then they also had that 360. He wanted $50. But I ended up talking him into giving them both to me for 30. Came with it's like a bag of controllers and a Kinect, so it was a decent deal. No games, oddly. Then we got a PlayStation 1 that I paid $1 for, and I also got another 360 controller because they weren't sure if it worked and it looked a little rough. They also weren't sure if this worked, and it didn't come with a controller, so they just gave it to me for $1. It had Rugrats, which is over there in it. Then probably some of the better finds. We'll start up top. Got a little Duplo find yesterday at a yard sale. I paid $8. It's sealed. It's a retired set. She even said that when she wanted to sell it. So I think she knew it was probably worth like an okay amount. But I looked it up. They're going new for like 100, but I'm not, Duplo sets. I'm not sure how many people are really collecting those. I put it up for like 75, I think. It's sealed, but it does have a few holes in it, so I put up as like new instead of new because they definitely complain if they got that thinking it was new. Then under there, I got Sega Dreamcast. I got this at a yard sale for I think only 15, if I remember correctly. It came with a stack of games. All those CD cases right there, Dreamcast games. A lot of them are scratched up. Two of the games did not work. One of them looked like it was going to, and it just didn't. It was NFL Blitz 2000, and it just wouldn't work. Like it would start up, and then it would just be black screen for like 2 minutes. So I was bummed about that. Cause that was like a $10 game, I think, but it's fine. So I think I can get like 70 or maybe 80 for an inbox Dreamcast. Doesn't have the interior boxes, which is annoying. Like I don't know why people keep the outside box and not the interior boxes for the systems, but whatever. And then under that, definitely one of the best finds. I believe this was last weekend, might have been the weekend before. I've been to this yard sale before. I wasn't even gonna. I recognize the house, I recognize the people, but I kind of remember buying video games from them. It was a inbox Game Boy Advance. This was last year. I still have two of the games floating around up there. It's like like Namco. Oh yeah, they're right there. It's Namco and like Tiger Woods inbox Game Boy Advance games. They're both dirt cheap, so I expect to still have them. But anyway, yeah, she mentioned she had an N64 last time, and she just like couldn't find it. So this time, they were like, "Hey, were you here last year?" And I was like, "Yeah, I bought some video games off you." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we had like an N64, right?" And I was like, "Oh, you thought you did, but you couldn't find it." So they're like, "Oh, I think we know where it is." So I was like, "Go and grab it." So while they were going and grabbing it, I looked through Stop Thief, which I actually remember looking through last year. It's missing stuff, but I might have a parts copy. I don't know. The electronic thing looked good, so I grabbed it. And then I grabbed that sealed copy of Risk from them as well. So they came out, and not only did they have an N64 in the box, it's the Donkey Kong 64 bundle, which this can go from like 200 to like 350 depending on condition. It is missing the lid to the expansion pack, which is super annoying. But it came with a jumper pack as well, which was weird. And it came with a bunch of games. But it also came with that Super Nintendo and one of those original Nintendos. The lady was like, I think I only want to sell the N64. And I was like, well, would you just take like 50 for all of it? And like her husband just like perked up and he was like, yes. And she's like, yeah, I guess we're getting rid of it for 50. It came with all these boxed games except for the one on top. And some of these here, there were only like 2 or 3 original Nintendo games, which was a little weird. But it was a great deal. I'll show you the box games in a little bit. But on top of that's another original Nintendo. I picked this up from a guy. I'll show you this. This was the only game I found at the yard sale. It was like it was from like their mom's side. It was like a multi-family. And I ended up paying like $2 for this, or maybe even $1. It's Pokemon Emerald, by the way, if you're not watching. And I was like, do you have any other stuff? And he's like, yeah, come on in. And so we went down to his basement. He's like, I have an extra Nintendo that doesn't work that great. It ended up working fine. It's one of those things where the original Nintendo, like if you just push the card to the left or the right a little bit, it'll work. It's just like the way you align the cartridge can be messy and make it blink and stuff. So it ended up working fine. And then I ended up grabbing, I think, most of those games from him, as well as his wife had a Game Boy. She didn't know how to work it, so I ended up showing her like how the contrast works, and there were dead lines, so I wasn't very interested. But this was the only game she had of like worth, so I grabbed that, and also grabbed right on top there Attack of the Killer Tomatoes in box. I looked it up, and it's like an $80-$100 game in box, so I was very happy about that. And a few other few other things, I think. I don't know, I think it was just the Nintendo games. Oh yeah, any PS2 game I'll show you in a little bit. So it was great. I think I paid 20 for all of that. He was gonna let the Nintendo go for like 10 with the PS2 game, and then he took out the other stuff. And he had a Game Boy Pocket too, but he was holding on to that. But it was great. It was a great deal overall. I'm always glad when it feels a little weird when they ask you into their house. Like I don't like to feel like I'm intruding, but sometimes like you get down to like their game room or whatever, and then you can just kind of like point at stuff, and sometimes they'll just be like, yeah, sure, take it, whatever. So that was great. Then on top of that, we got an N64, which man, oh god, yeah. So I think I have another Super Nintendo. I think that Super Nintendo is supposed to be there too. I grabbed the Super Nintendo, the N64, and some of these games. Yeah, I think actually all those N64 games are from that bundle. This girl, it was like just this like older couple. They were selling stuff, and I asked if they had video games and stuff. And then they got their daughter who was home from like college for the weekend, or something like that, or she just like was hanging out doing nothing. She came out to like negotiate for it for some reason, but it wasn't like hers, it was theirs. They didn't really. I think they would have let me have the box for like 20 or 30 bucks, but she got super involved and she got super defensive. And it was like, I don't know, she was so aggressive, like right off the bat. It wasn't like a friendly, like, oh, how much do you want for this? How much do you want for that? Blah, 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 kind of thing. Like, I asked, like, she was like, well, how much would you offer? And I was like, well, when you asked me that, like, I don't, like, I'm going to offer you a really low amount of money because, like, what I really want to pay is nothing in reality. So I was like, it was a bunch of PS2 stuff. It was a PlayStation 2, which I ended up leaving because she overvalued it so much, but I ended up paying 75 bucks for, yeah, the original, no, sorry, the other Super Nintendo, which I'm not really sure, that might be it, actually. And I think maybe that's the one that came with the N64. But she overvalued that because before I talked her down to like 100, and or she wanted 100, and I was stuck at 90. And I took out the PS2, and like two games. It was like Simpsons Hit and Run and like some other random game I don't even remember. And she's like, I was like, will you do 75 for this? And she's like, fine. But it was just, I'd never argued with somebody this much. I'm not even using the word negotiate because she immediately was like yelling at me. Like, I don't know why. But it wasn't that many games. I just kept telling her, I'm like, I don't even know if this stuff works because like the Super Nintendo looked a little messed up and the games were dirty. So yeah, it was really aggressive. But anyway, 75 bucks. Got a N64, got a Super Nintendo, got a few games, which I'll show you in a bit. I think it's I don't even think it's all of these. I think 2 or 3 of these are from the other bundle. But yeah, I was super aggressive. So I had like maybe argued with somebody like that once or twice before, just trying to like give them realistic expectations of what to expect. Like, or from my end, like if I get home and it doesn't work, is what I just kept telling her. And she's like, we can go inside. I'll plug it in. I'll plug in the old TV. Like, we can do this. Like, it'll only take like 30 minutes. And I was like, I'm not going to spend 30 minutes in your house. Like, it was insane. If just the parents had been there, I bet I could have walked away with it 20, 30, maybe 40 bucks. Got the PS2, got the box of games. But this girl was just so intense about it. And like, she didn't know any of the values for anything. She was like, oh, I could get like $150 for the Nintendo. And I was like, no, you can't. But yeah, anyway. Next, we get a Wii in box. I paid 11, I think, for this at a yard sale. It was just this lady. It was like an older folks community. I had realized by the time I'd gotten through like 4 or 5 houses. It was like a town-wide yard sale, but I guess I just ended up in like, they'll have like 55 plus communities. I mean, they were all individual houses. It was sort of weird. But paid 11. It came with Just Dance 3 or something like that. and it's complete. It's the newer one. It doesn't do GameCube, so that's kind of a bummer. I told her I would have paid more if it was the blue one that does GameCube stuff, because that one's worth more. But in box, $11, not bad. And then I got the Sopranos box set and a GoPro Hero 2 at another yard sale for, I think I paid $10 for each of them, so I ended up giving him a 20. He had $20 on. Oh no, I only paid like $7 for the GoPro, and I paid $10 for the Sopranos box set, which probably should have paid a little less because it's pretty heavy, but it's kind of cool. It looks like a book. You can open it up, and there's like pages, and it has the DVDs and stuff, but it's all cardboard. But that'll go for like 30 or 40. The GoPro, actually, if you watch back a couple videos, I think I have a GoPro Hero 1, and that one, the plastic casing is part of it. So I think I might actually swap this. I might keep this one and sell the GoPro Hero 1. I think this only goes for like 30, $40. They're up to like GoPro Hero like 7 or 8 or something ridiculous. So I'll probably end up keeping this one. It looks better. It has the mount. The other one doesn't have the mount. And it has like a few accessories in that bag. I think it might just be the cord and something else. But then we got a couple calculators. I actually got a TI-82 and a TI-83 Plus from the same person. I paid like $10. I sold the TI-83 Plus for like 31. Those have really come down this year. And then I got the TI-85, I think for like $2 or $3 at another yard sale. I don't even really remember. It had like really crusty batteries in it, but the contacts looked okay. And then I already told you about the TI-84 Plus. Came with the Game Boys. This actually also came with the Game Boys. So I got this and this iPod for $8 after I'd after I'd bought the Game Boy stuff. And I'd also got a couple of PS4 games after I bought that. So yeah. And then just in case I didn't tell you, I got these two iPods for $10 at the yard sale across the street from where I got the Game Boy stuff. They said if I hauled away a desk for them, I could have them for free, but I didn't have room for the desk. Like, they pointed at this piece of wood, and I was like, oh, is it just that? Yeah, I can haul that away. And they're like, no, it's like this huge desk. And I was like, oh, no, here's $10. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, it was the only things I got on last Sunday, I think, or Saturday. I think it was this Saturday. It was the only things I got. It was kind of weird, but it is November, so like I only have one, maybe 2 weekends left to go yard sales, because it does look like it's gonna snow on Friday, but it could turn into rain. So as long as it doesn't snow, people will keep having yard sales. But in New England, like once the first snow hits, people just stop, which makes sense because like lawns are just covered, they're wet, it's bad. There'll still be an estate sale or two, but like I've said before, I don't really like going to those. I will probably a little bit more this year just to make sure I have things, but yeah. So then another yard sale, I got this DS Lite and then those 3 vintage game collection games. You get Scrabble, Stratego, and Yahtzee. Yahtzee's already sold for $27. And then I think I got like the cord and some styluses and some blank cases. They didn't have any games. They went back inside and I think they pulled out like a couple Maddens for PlayStation 3 or 4. And I passed on them. Or Xbox. Yeah, it was Xbox One. But I only paid $10 for that. I got those 3 games in the DS Lite. So that was cool. Then I got DS XL or DSi XL? Yeah, DSi XL. This I only paid 10, maybe even like 7. I forget. For this one, no games. Had the charger, thankfully. This only goes for like $50-$60. Then go up to the Atari. I got that and a couple Spider-Man games in another yard sale for $20. I thought that was they had 20 on the Atari and they had $5 each on the games. And they had a bunch of Atari games, but none of them were anything of worth. So I wasn't even gonna try to buy them because they wanted $2 each. I probably would have I ended up usually selling those for like $1 to like $1.50 in profit. So it's not worth it. But that was a decent deal. And now I think it's just, yeah, it's just the video game stuff. I guess I'll show you this. I got this Game Boy Advance Color for $7. Yeah, I think it was $7. Wow, Game Boy Advance Color. Sorry, Game Boy Color. $7. It had Link's Awakening. Already sold that for $27. And then these are the 3 games that were left: Bugs Life, Super Mario Land, and Monopoly. So that was cool. This usually goes for about 30-ish. And then actually, I forgot to mention, I took this out of that N64 because the expansion packs sell for like anywhere between like 18 and 25 usually. And I think, yeah, like I said, that one came with an extra jumper pack, so I just shoved it in there. I also have like 4 jumper packs lying around because sometimes they'll just like be in a box of electronics, so I'll just grab them. And yeah, let's go through the other Game Boy stuff. So I got these 2 Game Boys with that bundle with the TI-84 and all that. So the Tommy Hilfiger, I haven't had this in probably like 4 or 5 years. It's much better condition than the one I had. The flag was like scratched to hell. This one's like a little scratched, but like looks pretty good. The battery compartment definitely needs cleaning. I pulled exploded batteries out of both of these, so that actually managed to get the price down. Last I had this, it was like $35. It's like a regular Game Boy Color price. Last time I looked at it, I haven't looked at it today, so this isn't 100%, but it was going for like $75 to $100 last time I looked up the Tommy Hilfiger Game Boy Color. So I'm really hoping that value is stuck or even gone up. There are only maybe like 5 or 6 special edition Game Boy Colors. It's like this. I think there's a Toys R Us one. There are 2 different Pokemon ones, and I want to say it's like a Best Buy one. And then there's a few others that I'm sure exist as well, but this is the most common one that I've seen. So I was pretty happy about that. And these are the games. So they said they had a PSP, but he just couldn't find it, but he found all the games for it. I only grabbed 2 PSP games: Battlefront, Renegade Squadron, and Battlefront Elite Squadron. And then these are the Game Boy games that came with these. They didn't have any Game Boy Color, which was weird. So it's Tetris, Link's Awakening, another great. So hopefully another $27 there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. I actually think I have the manual for that. Tennis, Star Wars, Terminator 2, and Bart versus the Juggernauts. I don't think I knew that existed. I thought that was about to say Space Aliens. And then I haven't checked out to see if either of these work, actually. But pretty good. I haven't gotten a lot of handheld stuff this year, so I was glad to like grab some towards the end. And these are the games I got. So I wasn't sure of the value of this guy, but it was the only like interesting one. So Dragon's Lair 3D, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And then the son came out, and he wasn't sure about like what games he had, and I was like, you mentioned you had PS4, and he was wearing an Overwatch hoodie, so I was like, do you have PS4 stuff you want to get rid of? And he's like, oh, I'll go take a look. And he came out with these and maybe like a few other games. It was like Infamous Second Son and something else. I probably should have grabbed Infamous, but I already have a copy that hasn't sold in like a month. So we got a Call of Duty World War II and Black Ops 3. I paid $2 each on those. Those go for 9 to 10 each. Mario Kart Wii. And oh yeah, I grabbed these at another yard sale. These I haven't tested, so they're separate from the other ones, but I got these 2, and then that red case is actually new Super Mario Bros. Wii, which that already sold for like $12 and change. But that was disc only, but I happen to have a case for it. So I paid 12, I think, altogether. Maybe even less. They had this marked at 10. So I grabbed this, that, and... oh, I paid 7, actually. Yeah, I paid 7. And Tony Hawk 3, which I think is only like $7 or $8 game. And these are the 2 Spider-Man games I got with the Atari. So, yeah, they're GameCube games, by the way. They're not Atari games. We got Spider-Man 2, Ultimate Spider-Man. I think this one's worth like $12, $15. And I couldn't remember how much this was, but I figured if I could get it thrown in with the Atari, it didn't really matter. And these are the games that came with the PS2, or the stack of PS2s. We got The Sims 2, your Guitar Hero Encore, Rock the 80s, SpongeBob SquarePants, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, Destroy All Humans, which is really gross. Most of them are pretty scratched. And then Burnout 3 Takedown. And those are the empty cases. And you saw earlier we got Grand Theft Auto. So these are the few games that came with the N64 Super Nintendo bundle. So Mario Party 3, Mario Kart 64, Donkey Kong 64, and Dr. Mario actually came with the boxed N64. So these were the only 3 games they had, which is why I was trying to tell them, like, if these don't work and I'm paying you $100, like, it's not worth it for me. So thankfully those all work. Then I'll show you these boxed games. So this came with the original Nintendo, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I think I have this up for like 90 right now, maybe 80. I don't even remember. Maybe even 100 beats me, but it looks really good. It only has like some minor marks here, yeah, like right here. But yeah, I think it's based on that movie. And then these all came with the N64, those boxed. We got Namco Museum 64. I actually have the manual for that. Super Smash Brothers, definitely the best thing in there. It's probably gonna go for like 80, maybe 90. Super Mario All-Stars, Tetris 2, Miss Pac-Man, and Frogger. So I was really glad to find these. But yeah, for like $50, I got all that. Like, probably one of the best finds of the summer, definitely. We'll go through the older stuff, I guess. Ooh, that terrible scrape. Wow. Well, that happened, you guys. So anyway, we got Super Mario World. This actually came with the loose N64. I think this did too, and so did this. Actually, yeah, I think the only game that was not boxed for the Super Nintendo games with the box N64 is this. I think this was the only one. It probably came in the Super Nintendo box. That's why it doesn't have a box. And then Super Star Wars. And then we got Mario Bros. Oh, these 2 games I actually got with the Game Boy Color. I remember that now. They said they had a Nintendo, but they played it a lot. So we got Friday the 13th. And I'd never heard of this. Abadox. Which, I played it. Seems kind of cool. I think it's a shooter. I think you're in a suit. That was cool. And, ooh, that's a terrible sound. I got all these with that other Nintendo. So we got the Rygar, Street Fighter 2010, Super Mario 3, Elevator Action. Actually, I think Elevator or Sky Shark actually also came with that one. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Tetris. So always grab Tetris. It doesn't go for a lot, but it sells quick. Same with the Game Boy. I just sold like 2 like last week and a copy of that. And then if we can get it over here without also dropping everything. So there's that copy of Rugrats. And these all came with the box Dreamcast. We got Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. 2K1 baseball, Rippin' Riders. Oh, these are obviously all going to be upside down. Stupid Invaders, which I think this was actually going for a lot. David Mira BMX, RIP. Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge. Worms World Party. Bomberman Online, I think that was also like 30 to 40 bucks. Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. Pen Trilison. This is like a terrible racing game. Mortal Kombat Gold. Sonic Adventure. No, I just did not put them all the same. Worms Armageddon. WWF Attitude. Power Stone. That's a great one. I don't think I've ever had Power Stone 1. I've had Power Stone 2. They're both about like 50 to 80, depending on condition. I think this will go for about 60. NFL 2K1. And then this was that DS game, Zelda Phantom Hourglass. I thought it was Spirit Tracks, but I guess it was Phantom Hourglass. And I also got Okami. I think that's under here. Another yard sale, I paid $3. I got Minecraft and Harvest Moon Save the Homeland. I thought this was worth more. Most Harvest Moon games are 10 bucks minimum. This one's only like 3 or 4 bucks. Like, and it's a heavier game because it's PS2. It's got the heavy manual. So that was kind of annoying. I didn't look it up because almost always Harvest Moon games are worth more. I actually did just buy this on PlayStation 4 for $5.99 because I was like, you know what, farming, let's do it. And then this was great. This came with that other Nintendo and that stack of Nintendo games, Wild Arms 5. He said he just didn't really like it, but this is like a $100 game in the condition that it's in, maybe like 90 because this box is a little messed. And then we get that copies of New Super Mario Bros. I mentioned, Just Dance 3 that I mentioned, Okami, and last find, I paid $6. We got Tekken Tag Tournament 2 for Wii U and a box set of Chrono Crusade, which is the anime. I can't remember how much this was going for. I think it was only going for like 10 or 12. So picked it up because it didn't go media mail. And that's that. That is everything, you guys. That was a long one. So I'll just cut to it. You know, like, subscribe, comment, share. If you like to see what I've sold these things for, I know I already mentioned Yahtzee, sold for $27, but I also have started to do videos. Most of them are probably up by now because I've been filming them for the past like month and a half. But feel free to check out my channel to see videos where I specifically pull things out, tell you what I sold them for, usually tell you what I buy them for. I don't always remember because some things have sat around for quite a while. It's not easy to remember everything, but definitely check those out if you want to see like what things have sold for. I actually show you like the web page with the sold price and all that. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share. Definitely, once again, if you know what this is, like, please. Oh man, I'm terrible. So please tell me what that is. And yeah, I'll see everybody later.